Part 12. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Faye. Chapter 112. Chapter 112. The innocent fiancé is online. Thinking of Chi Jinkai's figure that seemed to be running away, Li Ju raised his lips and smiled. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? If I don't care about you these days, do you really think I'm a soft persimmon? When I came out to hang out, you were just a young boy. Li Ju thought of this. Because of her previous grudge with Chi Jinkai, she gritted her teeth every time she saw him. All I wanted to do was beat him up, and I had no other thoughts at all. Just now, she suddenly reacted. If you want to take revenge on Chi Jinkai, don't you have to beat him? Wouldn't it be more interesting to appreciate the change in his face, which has always been cold and expressionless? The tips of his ears turned red when he thought of Chi Jinkai, who looked stiff just now. Don't be too happy, okay? This allowed her to regain a bit of the sultry pleasure she had felt before. Sigh, it seems that I have been retired for so long that I am no longer familiar with the basic job of teasing. However, I just flirted with Chi Jinkai a little, and she felt so good. If in the future... Li Ju's delicate eyes flashed with a strange light. Xiaju, come here. As soon as Li Ju came down from upstairs, Mr. Li waved to her. Li Ju walked to him and found that Chi Jinkai was also there. As soon as this person saw her, his body tensed up unconsciously, as if he was still frightened by what just happened. The thin lips were pursed tightly, and there was no emotion in the cold eyes. The aura around him was even more depressing, making it difficult to breathe. When he saw her, his eyes were slightly unnatural. Li Ju didn't show it on his face, but he was laughing wildly in his heart. Chi Jinkai, you also have today. Xiaju, Lao Chi, and I have discussed your engagement party. Li Ju frowned, and the smile hidden in his eyes gradually faded. Grandpa, can't we have an engagement party? As soon as these words came out, Mr. Li and Mr. Chi were both stunned. Xiaju, don't you want to do it? Mr. Li asked. Li Ju nodded, I don't like it very much. As soon as Mr. Li heard this, he said, well, let's not do it. Then we can just let the news of the engagement out. However, Mr. Chi frowned and said disapprovingly, this is not good. I feel like I am treating Xiaju badly. How could his future daughter-in-law of the Chi family not even have an engagement party? How will others see Xiaju if it is spread out? Mr. Li said, Xiaju doesn't like to deal with that kind of occasion, so let's forget about the engagement party. That's it, that's fine, I'll do as you say. The two old men reached a consensus in this way. Li Ju took advantage of them not noticing her and moved quietly to Chi Jinkai's side. With a smile on his face, Li Ju extended his hand to Chi Jinkai in a friendly manner and said, please give me more advice in the future. Chi Jinkai looked at her fair and delicate jade hands, remained silent for a moment, then stretched out his hand to give it a shake. Unexpectedly, Li Ju grabbed his hand all of a sudden. Chi Jinkai suddenly raised his eyes, and a surprised look fell into Li Ju's eyes. She raised her lips proudly, as if her plot had succeeded. Slender fingers scratched the palm of Chi Jinkai's hand dishonestly, causing a tingling sensation. Li Ju came slightly closer and continued what she had not finished saying, my fiancé, little brother. Please give me more advice in the future, my fiancé. After reacting to her words, Chi Jinkai's face froze as expected. He immediately shook off Li Ju's hand with skillful force, snorted coldly, turned around and left, leaving behind a sentence, I still have something to do in the company, I'll leave first. This made the two old men feel puzzled. Mr. Li asked, what's wrong with Xiao Ci? Li Ju replied calmly, the company still has something waiting for him, and he is anxious to go back and deal with it. Mr. Li said oh, but he always felt that Chi Jinkai's demeanor was a little strange. Li Ju cast his gaze on Chi Jinkai's leaving figure, unable to hide the gloating in his eyes. Tisk, My ears are red again. Li Ju seemed to have opened the door to a new world, and she was as excited as a pervert. Why didn't she realize that Chi Jinkai was so innocent before? Teasing with your cool and innocent fiancé or something like that. It smells so good. There should be a lot of fun in the days to come. Third Master, I pray for you. In addition, I also want to repent. I don't know why I turned on Master Ju's hell-level sultry mode. But don't be too complacent, Mr. Ju. You will be overturned when Mr. San masters the skill of not moving. Li Ju. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 113. Chapter 113, Keep your eyes open when using traffic. Fenghua Entertainment is one of the largest entertainment companies in Daijing. With SR as the backend, it can be said to be a leader in the entertainment industry. And one person under Fenghua Entertainment has indeed shown everyone their unlimited value. In recent years, many Fenghua artists have won valuable awards, adding many movie stars and actresses to Fenghua Entertainment. In the conference room on the 6th floor, no one dared to breathe. Because the big boss at the head was angry. What's going on with Wu Zhairong? Can any of you explain it to me, huh? The sound of the last word rises, carrying an endless chill. Everyone can tell that he is angry. The man sitting in the front seat is wearing a white suit. He has a delicate appearance, a spring look in his eyebrows, and is romantic and frivolous. With such a face, he is enough to kill all the top celebrities in the current entertainment industry, but the aura and chill in his body are not something ordinary people can bear. Perhaps, this is the aura of the overlord that only exists in novels. A small clerk has a crooked heart. General, President, we don't know where this Wu Zhairong came from. The director of public relations was completely devastated. She is now ready to kill the female star named Wu Zhairong. In a place like the entertainment industry, things like bundling to gain traffic happen from time to time, so it's not surprising. But who told her to seek death this time and use the traffic to rub off on the boss sister? Who in Fenghua Entertainment doesn't know that the big boss is a girl control? At first, I ignored the inheritance of the big family's property. I heard that my younger sister wanted to act, so I just relied on my own means to establish Fenghua Entertainment and carve out a world in the entertainment industry, just to protect her. This time Wu Zhairong actually dares to frame the eldest lady for being a big star? What? God knows she wanted to curse when she saw this hot search. Don't they still know what the eldest lady's temperament is? This woman is clearly causing trouble. However, the president knew about it before their public relations department took any action. Then everyone in their public relations department came to this conference room and endured the terrifying pressure of the big boss. Find a solution for me right away. The director of public relations department wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, "Yes, President." Bai Yuxiu stood up, opened the door and left, leaving a room full of people whose hearts almost collapsed after being tortured by him for 3 hours. "Director, what should we do now?" someone asked. "What else can we do? Send a clarification on the website, ask the marketing accounts to delete the posts, and send a warning letter from a lawyer if you dare to take advantage of Mrs. Popularity, who will give her face." The director of the public relations department sneered, his eyes full of disdain. These days, if you want to be read, you have to keep your eyes open. You dare to use anyone's traffic? Are you brainless? Yes. The clerks nodded, but in their hearts they felt resentful of Wu Zhairong, who made them endure the pressure of the president for 3 hours. In just half an hour, the trend on the internet changed. "Oh my, the cheesecake made by Sister Zai is so delicious. Star Ice J page at Luji." Attached is a picture of a good-looking cheesecake. Lu Ji is the actress who was rumored to be bullied by Bimweo for being a big star on the set. As soon as this post was posted, someone immediately responded. "Lu Ji V, You're sorry, Xiao Yuyo, it's the first time I've made it and it doesn't taste good, so please bear with me. SHYJPG. The rumors were self-defeating. The following is a series of comments. Woo woo woo, daughter Yuyo finally sent a WB, mom misses you so much. Dejin's name is not good at playing big cards. Did those people who closed their eyes and told lies see it? The relationship is good. Lek by pieces by I really don't understand why some people say that Muyu is a big name based on a photo that is so blurry that you can't even recognize the person's face. Well, it seems that Bai Muyu and Lu Ji have a good relationship. Muyu baby. I will always love you and support you. Have you seen those people who scolded you? Does your face hurt? Second update, newcomers appear, welcome with applause. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 114. Chapter 114. What does the baby want to eat? CD, I have a hunch that Bai Muyu was screwed this time. According to the young lady's backstage background, I want to say, guys, we may witness a good show. Seeing that the trend on the internet had become calmer, Bai Muyu put down his phone with an expressionless face. Put your white and tender feet on the sofa, choose a comfortable position and lie down on your side, pick up the little stuffed animal that was playing by itself on the ground, hold it in your arms, and stroke it again and again. Hey, Wan, do you think it's my brother's fault? I have to clarify it in such a big way, won't this kind of thing just go away after a few days? The woman was wearing a white dress with a graceful figure. Her high heels were kicked to the ground. She was sitting barefoot on the sofa in the office. The white and tender toenails are also painted with red nail polish, and the two slender and straight jade legs are smooth and delicate, with well-proportioned bones and flesh, which is eye-catching. Bai Muyu stretched out her slender hands, picked up Wan, and looked at her. The delicate oval face is slightly raised, and a pair of clear and sultry water eyes are staring at the cat pupils, which reflect Wan's silly and cute look. Bai Muyu raised his lips and smiled softly. Sensing Wan's displeasure, he put it down and changed his posture to continue petting the cat. The movements are gentle and the posture is lazy and comfortable. Compared with the Wan in her arms, this woman is obviously more like a cat. Just when she wanted to close her eyes and take a nap, the office door was suddenly pushed open. Bai Muyu opened his eyes suddenly, turned his head to look at the person, his eyes suddenly brightened. Elder brother. A crisp sound fell into his ears, making Bai Yuxiu feel happy. His romantic eyes full of spring were bent, and he looked at the girl lying on the sofa tenderly. Xiao, are you in a hurry? Bai Muyu shook his head, stood up from the sofa, and said, no. Bai Yuxiu walked up to her, rubbed her head, and comforted her, don't worry, everything online has been resolved, and you won't be wronged anymore. The man's voice was low and seductive, making her ears itch. Bai Muyu lowered his head slightly and said, brother, you don't have to do this. This kind of thing will disappear automatically if it doesn't heat up for 2 days. Bai Yuxiu doesn't think so. She is reluctant to say a word about her baby. How can she let those unqualified people on the internet scold her? Bai Muyu wants to enter the entertainment industry and act. As an older brother, he naturally respects his sister's wishes. But at the same time, he also knew the chaos in this circle, so he founded Fenghua just to support Bai Muyu. If you just ignore posts like this that spread rumors and make false accusations, what's the use of him? I just can't stand anyone saying bad things about you, not even a single word. The corners of Bai Muyu's mouth twitched. She felt that these words were quite similar to those of King Po of Tianliang. That's all, if the elder brother wants to protect her as a child, then let him. Baimwea grinned, grabbed Bai Yuxio's arm, and said coquettishly, "Brother, I'm hungry, let's go eat." "Okay, honey, where do you want to go to eat?" Baimwea thought for a while and said, "I want to eat the food you cooked." Bai Yuxia raised his thin lips slightly, stretched out a finger and tapped her forehead, and said dotingly, "Okay, let's go home, and I'll cook for the baby." Baimwea's eyes lit up, thinking of his craftsmanship, his mouth watered unconsciously. "Okay, okay, let's go quickly. She can't wait any longer." Baimwea stretched out his hands, pushed him and walked out. Bai Yuxio smiled and looked at her impatient look, the fondness in his eyes almost overflowing. "Baby, do you want to eat Chinese food or Western food?" "Chinese food, I'll make myself sick after eating Western food abroad." Bai Yuxio looked at Baimwea beside him. "Well, indeed, after being abroad for a few months, people have lost a lot of weight. I'm going to make a big meal tonight to reward my baby." End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 115. Chapter 115. Lu Qingran, why are you here? In the kitchen, Bai Yuxia was chopping vegetables quickly with his wrists, wearing a pink apron that did not match his image. The apron is still a little small, and it is obviously not his own. The dishes were put into the pot, making a sizzling sound, and not long after, an alluring aroma passed through the living room. Baimwea was seduced by the fragrance and lay beside the kitchen door, looking at Bai Yuxia's back eagerly. There were protests from his stomach, and Baimwea couldn't help it anymore, so he asked, "Brother, when will it be better? I'm going to starve to death." Bai Yuxia smiled and replied, "It'll be ready soon." Since Baimwea is a star and he has to stay in shape, Bai Yuxia doesn't cook too many meat dishes. Otherwise, wouldn't it be torture if he could only watch but not eat? However, even if they are all vegetarian dishes, Baimwea's appetite will be whetted by Bai Yuxia's cooking skills. She picked up some shredded vinegar potatoes and stuffed them into her mouth without caring whether they were boiled or not. Delicious. Baimwea covered his face with an expression of enjoyment. She blinked her watery eyes and complained pitifully to Bai Yuxiu, "Brother, you don't know that in the past few months when I was abroad, because I had to film, I could only eat tomatoes mixed with cucumbers every day. If I ate takeout secretly, I would be punished. Sister scolds, life is very difficult." Bai Yuxiu sat in front of her and looked at her fondly. "It was you who wanted to act in the first place." "What? You regretted it?" Baimwea chuckled lightly and said, "How is that possible? I want to become a movie queen." "But aren't you already a movie queen? You even won an award some time ago." Baimwea's goal is far from that. Her watery eyes shone with a small but determined light, and she said, "In the future, I want to appear on the international screen." Bai Yuxiu's frivolous eyes flashed with tenderness. "Well, brother supports you." The two looked at each other and smiled. Under the warm yellow chandelier light, the man looked at the girl in front of him with gentle and loving eyes, listening to her chatter about trivial things abroad. The air is filled with warmth. A sudden knock on the door broke this beautiful atmosphere. Baimwea stood up and opened the door. His eyes flashed, and he unexpectedly met the face of the evil outside the door. "Lu Qingran, what are you doing here?" Lu Qingran smiled and handed the red wine he was holding to Baimwea, and said, "I heard that Xiao is back. Of course, as a brother, I have to come and have a look." As he said that, he took it out of the shoe cabinet without saying anything. "Put on a pair of slippers." When he walked in the door, he said in surprise, "Hey! Where are you two having a candlelight dinner?" Bai Yuxia was very concerned about his uninvited appearance. Hearing his words, he frowned, "Do you have any objections?" Lu Qingran sat down at the dining table skillfully, and her movements were smooth, showing that she often eats. "How dare I have an opinion? He saw that there was no trace of meat on the table. Old Bai, why are all these vegetarian dishes? Is it possible that the price of meat has risen sharply recently and you can't afford it? Bai Yuxia went to the kitchen again to get a pair of bowls and chopsticks. Hearing this, he snorted coldly, Xiao is a star and cannot eat meat. If you like it, eat it, or not. If you don't want to eat it, get out. The dishes he cooked for the table were not meant for him to eat, so he still had the nerve to reject it? Lu Qingran, eat, 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 of course. Xiao, could you please help me open that bottle of red wine? I'm going to knock your brother down tonight. With your drinking capacity, you are afraid that you will be knocked down in the end, Bai Muo said. She picked up the bottle of red wine and went to find the bottle in the wine cabinet. Lu Qingran and Bai Yuxia were already chatting enthusiastically. Old Bai, let me tell you a big news. Regarding the third brother, it is guaranteed to be exciting. Bai Yuxia glanced sideways at him and said, you are planning on third brother behind your back, be careful if he hears and beats you up. Lu Qingran didn't care, he has no time to care about me, he should be flirting with his fiancée now. Fiancée? Bai Yuxia's charming eyes were filled with shock at this moment. Don't be kidding me. Third brother has a fiancée. When did it happen? Why didn't I know? Lu Qingran smacked his lips and said, as for what happened last night, I heard with my own ears that Mr. Qi settled it. Who is that woman? Lu Qingran smiled mysteriously and said a name, Li Ju. Bai Muo paused while holding the bottle opener and twisting the cork. Fourth update, it's over, thank you all for supporting us. In addition, I have some bad news to tell you. I will start school next Monday and will be quarantined, so, you may have to change from young masters and ladies who enjoy delicacies from the mountains and seas to little beggars who eat chaffy vegetables. One update a day. Please hold on, if I have a weekend off, I will definitely update more posts, woo woo woo, don't abandon me. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfe. Chapter 116. Chapter 116 He is coming back. Bai Muo stopped pulling out the cork of the bottle, and after hearing this, he raised his eyes and looked at Lu Qingran. Li Ju. Bai Yuxia frowned and carefully recalled the famous ladies in the imperial capital, but he had never heard of the name Li Ju. Lu Qingran, she is Mr. Li's granddaughter and Li Hong's illegitimate daughter. She has been well hidden by Mr. Li and has not been seen much. Bai Yuxia frowned even more when he heard this, the Qi family would actually let an illegitimate daughter be the third brother's fiancée. Bai Muo pulled out the cork of the bottle, took out 2 goblets, poured wine into them, and handed them to Bai Yuxia and Lu Qingran. She sat down and asked, Lu Qingran, are you serious? Can the third brother agree to this marriage with his dull temper? Lu Qingran pretended to sigh deeply, so what if you don't agree? I've all been eaten up and wiped clean. Bai Muo and Bai Yuxia choked at the same time. Eat, and wipe yourself clean. Bai Muo asked in disbelief, his eyes as if he had seen a ghost. Is it so fierce? Lu Qingran nodded her chin and said, you don't know that at that time, Mr. Qi and I went to catch the traitor. Oh no, we were looking for someone, but we saw Li Ju holding the third brother under him. Bai Muo took a breath of cold air. Bai Yuxia was also shocked and unable to accept this fact. After digesting it for a while, he could only say, this Li Ju, is really not simple. Lu Qingran, who says it's not the case? Bai Yuxia chuckled, I would like to meet her. Why, are you interested in her? Bai Yuxia shook his head, I just want to see what a woman who can hold third brother under her looks like. Bai Muo on the side asked, what can he look like? Aren't they all people with 2 eyes and 1 mouth? Bai Yuxia and Lu Qingran turned to look at her at the same time. She raised her eyebrows and said, am I right? Lu Qingran, you are right, but that Li Ju, sister-in-law, has exceeded the scope of the word human being. Why? Bai Yuxiu asked. Lu Qingran mysteriously pulled his shoulder and whispered a few words in his ear. Bai Yuxiu was immediately shocked. Really? Lu Qingran nodded. That's really, tisk tisk. Bai Yuxiu sighed twice with emotion. Bai Muyu didn't know why and looked at the two of them doubtfully. What did you say? Lu Qingran, it's okay, I just wanted to educate your brother about our sister-in-law's ferocious deeds. Bai Muyu raised his eyebrows and asked meaningfully, from what you said, Li Ju is very powerful. Lu Qingran sneered, it's not just awesome, it's simply fierce. Oh no, tough. Bai Muyu's eyelids twitched, and he narrowed his watery eyes, looking at Lu Qingran with complicated and unclear expressions. Then, she heard Lu Qingran counting Li Ju's deeds. I have never seen a more fierce woman than Li Ju. As soon as she saw the third brother, she asked, little brother, are you in love? Oh, I'll go. Didn't you see the expression on the third brother's face? It was so wonderful. Bai Muyu and Bai Yuxiu. Also, my sister-in-law is also very skilled. She actually dares to fight with the third brother. Tisk. Anyone who can fight with the third brother is not a human being, okay. Bai Yuxiu. The key is that my sister-in-law is too good-looking. Her face is prettier than that of female celebrities, so her risk factor is very high. Bai Muyu. So, what did Li Ju do to make Lu Qingran define her as fierce, not human and highly dangerous? Bai Muyu looked at Lu Qingran still dancing and talking with a smile. The hand in his pocket rubbed the edge of the phone, and he paused the recording calmly. Lu Qingran kept talking, which made Bai Yuxiu impatient and stuffed food into his mouth to make him stop. By the way, that brat Sijin is coming back soon, then I'll set up a game and call the third brother and sister-in-law. Let's get together. Lu Qingran chewed something in her mouth and spoke vaguely. Bai Muyu was stunned and asked, Sijin is coming back. Lu Qingran nodded, I heard a few days ago that it will arrive the day after tomorrow. He took a sip of red wine, put on an expression of gritted teeth, and said, he has been away for 2 years, and he still knows how to come back. Lu Qingran rubbed the roots of his back teeth. Based on what I know about him, he will definitely do something big when he comes back this time. Bai Muyu and Bai Yuxiu looked at each other, a dark color flashing under their eyes. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy Enfe. Chapter 117. Chapter 117. You have to call me sister. Ever since Li Ju teased Qi Jinkai that day, he seemed to be avoiding her on purpose. She also specifically asked the company to notify her and give her a short holiday so that she could have a good rest at home. Li Ju sneered. I didn't expect Qi Jinkai to be so cowardly. But this is okay, she can sleep comfortably at home. But this ambition was not realized. Int. The bedroom door was open, and Lim Wei leaned against the door frame like a weakling. Hearing this, he pursed his lips and confirmed, you really don't want to go. Li Ju looked up, wearing a black eye mask, and lay lazily on the recliner. If you say you won't go, you won't go. Lim Wei sighed, this is the 3rd day. You have been at home for 3 days. Are you a mushroom? He walked to the window and opened the light-colored floor-to-ceiling curtains. The blue sky is like washing with water, and there are no clouds in the sky. The golden sunlight fell on the lawn, reflecting dazzling light. Look, the weather outside is so nice, why don't you just go out and play? Li Ju tilted his head and said, I won't go. Seeing that she was not going to walk out of the room no matter what, Lim Wei almost cried, sister, you are my sister, aren't you? I'm begging you, just go ahead. My friends all want to meet you, and I've told them to go and have fun. Li Ju couldn't bear it anymore, sat up and took off his blindfold. So why are you telling them about me? Lim Wei choked and shrank his neck, feeling a little guilty. Li Ju narrowed his eyes. In her increasingly cold eyes, he hesitated and said, I was quick to speak. The cause of this incident still stemmed from a small gathering between him and his group of friends. They are all wealthy young men in the imperial capital circle, and they usually have a good relationship with him. I heard that he was back this time, so I organized a game and invited him to come over and play. Everyone hadn't seen each other for a long time, and this time they were all letting loose and having fun. He couldn't hold it back and drank too much. I'm talking about Makino. I heard that you have a younger sister. How does she look like? I heard she is a beauty. Why don't we meet her? The man was drunk, his face was flushed, his eyes were blurred, and his speech was erratic. Although Lim Wei was also dizzy, his mind was still somewhat clear. Hearing what he said, he immediately picked up a wine glass and threw it at him. You, don't you dare try to take advantage of my sister. The man was hit and felt pain on his forehead. Only then did he realize that he had said the wrong thing, and he was so scared that he didn't dare to speak again. Others were a little surprised to see Lim Wei react so strongly. Makino, isn't it, sister? That's right, Makino, your second uncle's illegitimate daughter. You actually admit that she is your sister. There was disbelief and a hint of contempt in his tone. The people present were all children of aristocratic families, and they naturally hated the existence of illegitimate children and illegitimate daughters. After all, they hate people who destroy their families and may even compete with them for their family business. It sounds like Lim Wei doesn't have much resistance to this illegitimate daughter. On the contrary, he is still very protective of her. This surprised them a little. Lim Wei snorted and said, what kind of illegitimate daughter? My grandfather recognizes her. She is the real daughter of my Li family. Please keep your mouths clean. As soon as these words came out, the eyes of everyone present almost bulged out, and they were half sober in an instant. Makino, are you serious? Lim Wei pouted at the man, of course I'm serious. He stood up suddenly, his cheeks were red, his body was swaying, and he almost lost his balance. He hit the chair beside him with his foot. With a click, the chair broke into two pieces. Everyone. Lim Wei stared at everyone present, stretched out his finger, pointed at them, and warned, listen up, Li Ju is my sister. I don't care what you thought of her before. From now on, when you see her, you have to call me sister. Everyone was as quiet as a chicken for an instant. The noisy box suddenly became silent, and one could even hear the howling ghosts and wolves in the box next door. Seeing that they were silent, Lim Wei roared, have you heard that? Listen, I heard it. Everyone made a weak sound. End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 118. Chapter 118 An Unforgettable Meeting Ceremony. Lim Wei nodded, satisfied, and then sat back down. Brother Makino, why don't you bring your sister over to meet us? That's right, if we don't know her, how can we call her sister? Everyone responded, and they were now very curious about Li Ju. Lim Wei's eyes were blurry and he had almost passed out from drunkenness. Hearing their words, he hummed in a low voice subconsciously, okay, hiccup. Wait for brother, hiccup. In a few days, I'll bring her, hiccup, to you. Then, he completely lost consciousness. When he sobered up, he wanted to slap himself a few times. Li Ju also wants to slap him a few times now. What kind of nonsense did this man say when he was drunk? You call her sister when you meet her? A group of rich second-generation dudes followed behind her, calling her sister like a mentally retarded person. She still feels embarrassed. Therefore, no matter how Lim Wei begged her, Li Ju coldly said two words, I won't go. Lim Wei was about to cry without tears. He especially wanted to go back in time and slap his drunken self to death. But now he has no choice. Last night when he was drunk, he praised Li Ju as a fairy in the sky, and he used up all the nice words. After his commotion, almost the entire rich second-generation circle in imperial capital is now curious about Li Ju's true face in Lushan. And his group of bad friends went even further and even made a video of him taking off his clothes and dancing when he was drunk that night. They also threatened him that if he didn't bring Li Ju to see them, they would send this video to the group of ladies from the imperial capital family, so that all the ladies could appreciate his elegance as one of the 4 young masters of the imperial capital. Lim Wei gritted his teeth and tore the hearts of the group of people into pieces. If the video really spreads, will he still be alive? So, Lim Wei came to Li Ju without any dignity and shamelessly asked, "Good sister, just come with me." Int. Lim Wei took a deep breath, a look of determination flashed in his eyes, and said, "Okay, you forced me to do this." Li Ju raised his eyebrows, suddenly having a bad feeling in his heart. As expected, Lim Wei fell to his knees with a plop in the next second. Holding her thighs with both hands, he cried, "Xiaju, good sister, please help me. If those beasts really release the video, your brother and I will not be able to live." Weavua. Li Ju, let go. Lim Wei hugged her tighter, "Don't let go. Li Ju." Li Ju's body pressure is getting lower and lower, and his expression is getting colder and colder. Lim Wei shuddered unconsciously. Li Ju took a deep breath before she could resist the urge to kick him to death. "I really don't understand why genes are so mysterious. How could an uncle with such a gentle and generous temperament be able to give birth to a son like Lim Wei? I'm afraid I hugged you wrongly." Li Ju clenched her fists, and her desire to hit someone became even stronger. She narrowed her eyes, covering up the anger in her eyes, and said, "Okay, I'll go with you." Lim Wei was instantly surprised, "Really?" Li Ju gave him a kind smile, "Of course. Anyway, I will definitely not be able to sleep today. Just to let her vent. Those wealthy children really want to see her, don't they? Well, she satisfies them." "Brother Maki no," Li Ju said. "Ah. How many people are there in your group of friends?" She could estimate it. "A dozen or so, but..." But what?" Lim Wei scratched his head and said sheepishly, "But they are too talkative and have told others about my evaluation of you. Now it is estimated that all the aristocratic family members in the imperial capital want to see you." Li Ju smiled, "That's it, then invite them all over." Lim Wei. Lim Wei, huh? He coughed lightly, "Yes, but is this really good?" Lim Wei frowned. He was worried that there might be trouble if there were too many people there. "Li Ju, it's okay. It doesn't matter how many people there are. Aren't they curious? Don't you want to see her true face? Okay, she will leave them an unforgettable meeting gift." "Oh, by the way, Brother Maki no," Li Ju suddenly shouted. Lim Wei, "Ah. What's wrong? Are there any larger boxing clubs nearby?" Lim Wei, "Yes, yes." "Well, let's get together there." Lim Wei, "I don't know why, but I suddenly have a bad feeling." End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 119. Chapter 119. See you next time. After that, Li Ju went to meet Lim Wei's group of friends. Let's not mention the specific details yet. When I came out of the club anyway. Li Ju looked casual and walked in front with a leisurely gait, holding a lollipop in his mouth and putting his hands in his pockets. Behind her, followed a group of young men with bruised noses and swollen faces. Looking carefully, these people are all wearing famous brands, and they obviously come from extraordinary backgrounds. Boss, do you want a cigarette?" A young man handed over a cigarette with trembling hands. He looked cautious and his face was bruised and white. He didn't even recognize his mother. He observed Li Ju's face, feeling a little scared in his heart, and the valuable gold watch on his wrist was trembling. Li Ju glanced at him sideways and said, "What did you call me?" The younger brother looked like he was about to cry and said, "Ju, Master Ju." Li Ju nodded, touched his head gently, just like the way he touched his own son, and said, "Be good, grandson, grandpa doesn't smoke." "Brother." "Everyone." Lim Wei walked at the back, his face a little dull, unable to accept what had just happened. Who will tell him how his beautiful sister suddenly transformed into Godzilla? How to understand how to dismantle people with your bare hands? How about trying to seal your throat with one move? Do you know that one can be beaten to death by killing 10? This meeting is truly unforgettable. I'm afraid I won't forget it in my next life. He still has the scene before his eyes. Li Ju, who looked thin and fragile, stood on the ring with boxing gloves on his hands. He looked at everyone with a cold expression and said, "It is said that men's friendships are made through fighting. Since you want to fight with, I'll make a friend, then come." Then, there is no more. Li Ju felt great. Everyone cried. He was stunned. In the end, I didn't make any friends and ended up with a group of younger brothers. Seeing Li Ju surrounded by a group of younger brothers, Lim Wei's lips twitched. He should be nicer to her in the future, otherwise he will die without knowing how. Li Ju suddenly remembered something and asked the people behind him, "By the way, I heard that one of you took a video of Lim Wei." Everyone shrank. The people who took the video were crying. They quickly explained, "No, no, we didn't do it on purpose. Mr. Ju, please listen to our explanation." Li Ju stretched out his hand and said calmly, "Take it out." Seeing this, Lim Wei felt moved in his heart. "Look, it's better for my sister to actually want to make the decision for him." The ones who took the video honestly took out their mobile phones and handed them to Li Ju. Then they lowered their heads and waited like quails. Just when Lim Wei thought she would teach those people a lesson for her, Li Ju just glanced at them and returned the phone to them. Those people were confused. "This. Li Ju, send me the video back up later." "How many people?" "Brothers." Lim Wei. Li Ju, "Oh, by the way, if you want to send the video out, you can. Anyway, you took the video and the right to dispose of it is yours." "Those people." Lim Wei. Those people glanced at Lim Wei, who was on the edge of the explosion, and said weakly, "Master Ju, this is not good. That is your brother after all. Li Ju, teach him a lesson, let him know that a grown man should not drink too much when going out, otherwise he will be taken advantage of, and he deserves it." Lim Wei. "The key is, who asked him to disturb my sleep?" Everyone. "So this is the real reason, right?" Lim Wei. "This sister is not a relative." Li Ju ignored Lim Wei's gaze and stretched, walked to her supercar, opened the car door, and said to her little brothers, "I'm going to leave now, and we'll get together later when we have time." Hearing the word reunion, everyone trembled. The next second, they all bent towards Li Ju at 90 degrees, bowed in a standard manner, and said goodbye respectfully. "Master Ju, go slowly. We will be here when you call." Li Ju nodded, closed the car door, stepped on the accelerator, and the car rushed out like an arrow, leaving behind a trail of exhaust gas and Lim Wei took a mouthful of exhaust fumes. Lim Wei. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Fei. Chapter 120. Chapter 120, Wrong way to log into your account. After playing with a group of Zhanwu all morning, Li Ju broke out in a sweat. When she got home, she went into the bathroom and took a good bath. When I came out, I found that my phone was vibrating non-stop. Open it and take a look. Wow wow wow, boss. Where have you been? The internet is abuzz. Li Ju moved his fingers lightly. 9. Xiaosan, please go online and check it out. The engagement between you and Qi Sanyi has already caused a huge stir. Xiaosan, also, boss, why didn't you notify us when you were engaged? Are we no longer in your heart? Li Ju ignored the disgusting tone of voice. 9. Where to look? Xiao-san. No, boss, you don't have a WB, do you? No. Reluctantly, Li Ju went to Du Niang to search for the software, then downloaded it and registered an account. As soon as I clicked in, WB got stuck. Li Ju. Half an hour later, after the unremitting efforts of the technical staff, it finally returned to normal. The most searched, hashtag. Li Ju. Li Ju. Li Ju. Flower of the high mountains. Into cow dung? She is cow dung? Li Ju took a deep breath and kept saying silently, this is the third mobile phone, don't drop it, don't drop it. She resisted the urge to tear people apart with her bare hands and clicked in. I don't believe it. How could the third master get engaged? Fake, it must be false, it's groundless. Upstairs, don't kid yourself, it's all official. Nearly 10 were followed, all of them howling like ghosts and wolves, clamoring for disbelief. These were all news from half an hour ago, so Li Ju simply ignored them. Which little is engaged to third master? My 40-meter machete is ready. Ifis, female, 20 years old, Imperial College student, illegitimate daughter of the head of the Li family, Li Hong. Playing with me upstairs, illegitimate daughter, what? Ded. Isn't this illegitimate daughter so awesome? She can actually get engaged to the third master? Bitch, go to hell, how dare you taint the third master, I don't even care about your virtues. The illegitimate daughter of the Li family suddenly became the fiancée of Mr. Qi. As soon as this news came out, the hearts of countless ladies with thousands of gold broke their hearts with tears. In just a moment, Li Ju became a public enemy. The internet is a mess, and countless people want to kill her, but they find that Li Ju never plays WB. Hence, scolding is in vain and people won't hear it at all. Everyone. Oh my God, are there any people who don't play WB these days? No matter what, I must scold that to death. Is the third master worthy of her? Sisters, add me. Li Ju looked at these comments and frowned. 9. Are those people on the internet mentally ill? 9. It's not my intention to get engaged to Qi Jinkai, so why are they scolding me? Boss, why are you not as popular as Mr. Qi Sanyi? Wait a moment. What does it mean to be engaged but not what you thought? Were you forced? Otherwise. Why should I find a fiancé when I'm full? Xiao-san, boss, there will be a day when you are forced to do so. 9. This matter is a bit complicated, I will explain it to you later. Xiao-san, what should I do online? Don't worry, they won't make any waves? Okay. In fact, she really wanted to ask. What if there are some crazy fans of Qi Jinkai who can't accept the news and threaten Li Ju out of necessity? But then I thought about it, with the fighting ability of her boss, it may not be who will be intimidated by then. Had no choice but to quietly shut up. Li Ju exited the chat box, a little speechless. A group of people were having nothing to do and comparing nonsense. Even if she is not engaged to Qi Jinkai, is it possible that it will be their turn? I really don't understand how Qi Jinkai, with his stubbornness, can have so many fans. She threw the phone away and did not pay attention to the follow-up of the matter. Little did she know that after she uninstalled WB, there was another storm on the internet. Because many of the big guys with official certifications and Vs have slapped people who sprayed Liju. Everyone. Wait a minute, is the way we log into our account wrong? End of this chapter. She always loves to sleep. Author, Guy and Faye. Chapter 121. Chapter 121 You also discovered. Illegitimate daughter, A well-known entrepreneur. What happened to the illegitimate daughter? Have you eaten your rice grains? I do not care, third master is mine, taken away without asking for a date, the illegitimate daughter Minato Kai. The CEO of an international entertainment company, faces a good thing, please give it a try. To be honest, a passerby thought this was a marriage, but as the third master, how could it be possible that the marriage partner was an illegitimate daughter? There could be a hidden secret in this, it's scary to think about it. The patriarch of a large family in a certain continent, if you are extremely scared, then don't think about it. You are always thinking about conspiracy theories. Are you afraid of being persecuted and paranoid? Everyone, trembling. Who will tell them why these big guys suddenly appear and fight for Liju? Are they in a dream? Definitely is. Otherwise, how could hallucinations occur? So, the network is completely down. Everyone who had just been scolding happily on the internet was now staring blankly at the keyboard, their expressions were in a daze, and their minds were blank. They seemed to have witnessed something extraordinary. A few minutes ago, an internal group. Harmful, brothers, look what I found, link, hashtag. What the hell? Preferably by that euro I rub. Julia is engaged. I seem to be in a dream. Which hero dares to take in Master Ju? I gave him 4 words, have a good journey. No, what does this hot search mean? What do these imperial netizens mean, calling Master Ju a cow dung? Hey, with my bad temper, seeing that we are not with Master Ju, I think I can bully Master Ju, right? See if I hack their system. Brother, be careful, it is still an empire after all. That's right, if you mess around, the imperial hackers can strip you down until you have your pants down. I won't mess around, I'm going to confront Heeza's head office, right? This is a good idea. Let's work together and scold those blind people until they don't recognize their own mother. How about that? Agree. Agree. Add 1. We seem to have lost it? It should be that the network is down. Isn't this Empire network a bit weak? Emoju, you guys had a lot of fun. In an instant, the crowd was as quiet as a chicken. Emoju, don't pretend to be dead for me. Ahahaha, Master Ju is happy to be engaged. Wished you happiness. Withdraws from the enemy's side. Have a son early. The atmosphere in the group came to a standstill again. Everyone looked at the last 4 words and unanimously observed a moment of silence for the big brother. Liju narrowed his eyes. Will he have a son soon? Emoju, the imperial talk is pretty good. No one dared to speak. Sejul, anyone who cursed people online just now should come and get their punishment from me. Yes. Emoju, also, take back all the things you sent me. Liju pressed his forehead and felt a headache. This group of careless people. It was quite chaotic to begin with, but they actually didn't mind it and came to join in the fun. Just as she was about to put down her phone, someone started chatting with her privately. Master Ju, when I just went to criticize people online, I noticed something unusual. Emoju, what's abnormal? Those people who scolded you online this time seem to have someone behind them. Emoju, huh? That person directly sent a bunch of data. Having just finished reading it, the phone rang. What? With all the chaos on the internet, you are quite free. Chi Jinkai held his mobile phone and took the document Jing Er handed him. Liju raised his eyebrows, is this why you called? If not, Li Ju thought for a while and smiled, I thought you missed me, little brother. Chi Jinkai. Chi Jinkai was so angry that he smiled instead. Is this person really heartless or what? You are being said like that on the internet, but you still tolerate it. Li Ju seemed to have heard some joke, forbearance? Do you think I am someone who can endure? Chi Jinkai narrowed his eyes slightly and asked, so? What do you want to do? Li Ju stood up and walked to the window, I'm just an illegitimate daughter, what can I do? So I have to trouble my fiancé. Chi Jinkai frowned slightly and said, speak well. Li Ju chuckled and stopped teasing, Chi Jinkai, I just found something interesting. Chi Jinkai's thin lips curled up slightly, it seems you have discovered it too. End of this chapter.